advanced from 13 weak colonies in the wilderness to the world's greatest nation, and did it in less than 2 centuries after adoption of the Constitution created our system of self-government and free enterprise. America did this because of an amazing ability to convert calamities into opportunities, to react from every reverse with spectacular progress. Worst of the world's afflictions is war and the aftermath of war. Agriculture particularly usually goes through a letdown after war. Yet from the travail of war have been born machines whereby farmers have beaten down their immediate obstacles and advanced to new periods of prosperity. This has been the history of America and of Case. This is the way most farmers thrashed their wheat when, in 1842, Jerome I. Case made his modest start in the thrasher business. Then came the Mexican War. When it ended, Mr. Case had already outgrown his first rented shop and had built a 3-story factory. Before the war between the states, this was the most advanced form of farm power for such operations as thrashing. Within 4 years after war's end, Case produced a steam engine for farm work and became the world's greatest builder of such engines. In a few years after the Spanish-American War came the Case steel thrasher that ended the era of wooden machines and set the style for the combines of today. Wind stackers and automatic feeders also were a part of that post-war progress. After World War I, Case tractors were transformed from huge, heavy models suited mainly to driving thrashers and pulling plows in virgin sod into lighter, faster tractors adapted to a wide range of farm work. Now we come to the period following World War II, so recent that you need no reminder of such advances as eagle hitch, constant hydraulic control, and the forage harvester. Instead, let's take a look at another place where Case has progressed in the post-war period, the far-flung system of branch houses and sub-branches which serve Case dealers and their customers. More than 100 years of experience have proved that periods of difficulty and adjustment are but the prelude to eras of advancement and expansion. And so, with well-founded faith in the promise for future months and years, Case has been building new and better facilities for distribution and service. First, let's get an overall picture. Here we see the locations of Case branches and sub-branches in the United States and Canada, strategically located to serve every farming area. Case also maintains an office in Washington, D.C., and an export office in New York City. It serves the export trade, developed since Case began to ship machines abroad nearly 80 years ago. Let's look now at Case distribution in North America outside of Canada and the United States. It includes Mexico and these island countries in the Atlantic. And here is Central America, showing the countries covered by Case distributors. For the most part, foreign countries are served by distributors. But in South America, as we see here, Case also has 5 sales branches and a network of dealers that covers all but one small country in the entire continent. Here are the Case distribution facilities in Europe, covering all but one of the free world countries. And in Africa, Case has distribution in 15 countries, all of the continent except a few little countries and the Sahara Desert. In the continent of Asia, too, Case has strategic distribution points, including one in Jordan, that ancient yet modern country of the Near East, and in the down-under land of Australia. Besides blanketing the continent, Case covers the neighboring countries of Tasmania and New Zealand. All the way around the world, the sun never sets on the Case Eagle. This is a shipment of Case tractors as it arrived at the warehouse of the Case distributor in Madrid, Spain. This is the first ship to put in when the new terminal of the Georgia State Ports Authority was opened at Savannah. And the first freight to be loaded was one of several self-propelled Case combines going to the Case dealer at Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now let's get back home for a closer look at what Case has been doing since World War II for expanded service to Case dealers. This is the new Racine branch, converted in 1947 from a large storage building and providing 64,000 square feet of floor space, plus 1,800 square feet of loading dock. Also added in 1947 was this building for the Bettendorf, Iowa branch. It provides some 19,000 square feet of floor space and a loading dock. And here, opened in 1948, is the new building erected for the Indianapolis branch. Behind the inviting display and office sections are large working and storage areas. This is the sub-branch at Houston, Texas, opened in 1949. It provides 24,000 square feet of floor space. Like the sub-branch at San Antonio, it operates under the Dallas branch. With the branch at Amarillo, there are 4 service centers for the great areas of Texas. Here is the Lansing branch, newly established in 1949. Its 23,000 square feet of space provide quicker, closer service to the dealers and farmers of Michigan. Brilliant in the blaze of its own floodlights is the Baltimore branch, established in 1950 to serve Maryland and adjacent areas. It has more than 64,000 feet of floor space and a loading dock 91 feet long. Memphis, too, has a new branch building since World War II. A loading dock and warehouse were built in 1947. Another warehouse and office in 1951, with a total of 66,000 square feet. In 1953, the Atlanta branch left its old location in the city and moved to this new building in outlying Chamblee, where there is plenty of room and convenient access by rail and highway. It has nearly 80,000 square feet of space and large loading docks for both rail and truck shipments. Brand new, too, is the sub-branch established in 1953 at Montreal to supply and serve the dealers and farmers of Quebec. It has more than 25,000 square feet of office, warehouse, and working space. Here is the new home of the Dallas branch, built in 1953 at a cost of nearly $500,000. It contains more than 80,000 feet of floor space, plus nearly 4,000 square feet of loading dock. In 1954, the sub-branch at Edmonton, Alberta, also moved into these splendid new quarters with more than 39,000 square feet of space, including the loading dock. This building at Charlotte, North Carolina, was put up in 1950 as a sub-branch. It has 30,000 square feet of working, warehouse, and office areas. In 1954, it was made a full-fledged branch house. The branch house at Toronto, Ontario, also got a new home in 1954. This modern structure has nearly 77,000 square feet of floor space and more than 19,000 in the loading dock. You have seen the mighty investments in brick and glass, concrete and steel, which bear witness to the faith which Case has in the future. And now we come to something more. Some of the men who are investing their business lives and fortunes in the future of farm machinery. In this picture, taken during the formal opening of the Baltimore branch, are Case dealers, territory supervisors, factory representatives, and company officers, all rubbing shoulders with one another as they learn of the latest Case creations and how to sell them. And here, during the opening of the Charlotte branch, are members of the branch staff, executives of the company, and others who stand as living symbols of the foundation of faith which underlies new buildings and new machines. Now, a quick look inside some of the new branch facilities. This is one of the display areas at the Atlanta branch. And this is a sparkling display of Case tractors, combines, mowers, and Eagle hitch mounted equipment under the brilliant lighting at the new Indianapolis branch. Here we get glimpses of typical warehouse areas in some of the new Case branches. New capacity to provide fast service for dealers and farmers. And this is a parts department with its row upon row of numbered bins for small parts. While in this section of the parts department, we see arrangements for swift shipment of parts orders. Turning now to larger shipments, we see at the new Toronto branch the loading dock, where the biggest of trucks, as well as rail cars, are conveniently accommodated. What does all this add up to? From the close of World War II until about mid-year of 1954, Case added new branch house facilities at 13 locations, old and new, with an investment in land and buildings of close to $4 million. It means 13.5 acres of new floor space, or about 15 acres if loading docks are included. Why has Case made these bold moves amid the problems of a post-war period? Because Case is determined to provide ever better service to 4,000 Case dealers and their customers in the United States and Canada. And what does the future hold for Case dealers? Their destiny is to sell and to serve in a market composed of 6 million farms. Those farms are growing, not in numbers, but in acreage, and especially in productivity. Bigger farms and better farms need more and better tractors and machines, the kind that Case dealers sell. Already, there are a number of new machines to make money for Case dealers and their customers. More are coming, but that's another story, a story too big to include in this discussion of distribution and service facilities. In the total population of our two countries, there are nearly 30 mouths for every farm to feed, to say nothing of food which may be shipped abroad. And as population grows by leaps and bounds, so grows the task and the opportunity for the farmers of North America. Come what may, good times and bad, mankind must eat, and those who grow food must have machinery. With confidence in the merits of Case products, with confidence in the ability of Case dealers to provide ever better service, and with confidence that farmers will make ever greater use of machines to farm better at lower cost, Case has unfaltering faith to build now for the future.